Check one, two. Okay, so here's the voice. So we've got this. Center our camera here a little bit. Bring that up a little bit like this. Let me see here. All right, now I have to figure out some way to bring in the PC audio, or else you guys aren't going to be able to hear anything else. Clean, clear voice. Thank you, Drac. Yeah, after the feedback that I just, everybody's ears were just blown out with that. Let me see. All right, let's see if we can get the desktop audio in through here without feeding back. That's the problem there. So let me try. No feed. I'm getting feedback. Okay. Let me see. Zoom L12 driver. Check one, two. We still have this coming in. Check, 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 check. But then we probably, let me put in the music and then see if I can patch that through. By the way, there are over 7 billion people on the planet, and not one of those people besides me is using the Zoom L12 live track board with OBS. I'm the only person. So there's no expert to consult on this. There's nobody to hire. There's no forums. There's no videos. There is only me. So I find that really, really hard to believe, but so far that seems to be the case. So I'm completely on my own to, I don't know, make an ASIO driver for this. Let me see. All right, so we're not getting any of that. Let's bring this up. Not getting anything back in from the board. Okay, let me see. If my vocal is going into channel 1, let me open up the driver. Let me see. I have my sound as high as possible. Poor MIDI Rebel probably can't hear now. Then you'll be the teacher. I'm going to have to be. Don't follow the footsteps of others. Take your own path. Yeah, but God. This is me on my own path. So I'd rather just pay somebody to show me how to do it, and that way I can get it done. But if no one can do that, then yeah, we have to do it on our own. Let me see. All I have to do is just bring in some other stuff here. Let me see. Right, okay, let's open up the Zoom L12 driver. We can do that. Just got to remember where that is. That's over here on control panel. One of the big problems is the Zoom L12 doesn't have an ASIO driver for it. It has its own janky little driver, but all right, that might help. All right, let's see if we can bring this in very, very carefully. No, nothing. Check, check one, two. Okay, there it is, but I'm a little echoey myself here. So let me see. Then I have to kill. My French teacher has it painted on the classroom wall. Yes, it is. For the most part, I do agree with that. As a retired teacher myself, I can do this. I can do this. Where's my vocal? If I do this, though, I'm not going to be able to hear. Monitor only, mute output, monitor off. Okay, that might do it. That way the monitoring isn't feeding back. All right, can you guys hear the music? You should be able to. No, you can't, can you? So I can hear the music now, but you guys can't. What if I do this? I gotta be careful now. Gotta be careful. But no, because I don't have music on input 9. All right, so how do I get the music coming out of the master? That means music would have to go into channel 2, and I can't do that. Because there is no channel 2. OBS won't pick that up. Let's see. What if desktop has another channel? I can specify that in OBS. I really don't want to do that. And the feedback from the PC should be coming in channel 9, but it's not. Yeah, nothing there. It's like I've almost got it. What happens if I do this? Let's go over to settings, studio mode, settings. Come on. Audio. Desktop audio. If I reroute this into, we got to bring this way, way, way down first. If I reroute this into the Zoom. Music. Music and voice, right? Yes. Okay. All right. I should be able to control that with this slider over here. Hello, Shut Mountain. Okay, let's, now that we seem to be, I think the levels and everything are okay now. Debs, if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already while I was messing with this, give a shout out to Cyclopsalops and the mighty Shut Mountain. And I shall take care of the shout out for you. So the mighty Princess Nebula, our fellow buffoon crafter and friend and moderator on the stream, accompanied by our co-pilot and friend Draken. Please go check out Princess Nebula whenever you get a chance. She's back to streaming again and doing some very, very cool stuff, especially on Buffooncraft. Wow. You guys, Friday, you should check out Buffooncraft. Definitely. The builds are just going insane on the Buffooncraft server. Also, check out Shut Mountain, fellow buffoon and moderator. Guys, Buffooncraft Season 4 is, you know, you hear words amazing, insane, and everything. It's mind-blowing. It really, really is. I really think that the buffoons could go toe-to-toe with any SMP builders out there. The big ones. Really. Really. Thank you so much for the shout-outs. The dragons are taking over in Princess Nebula's build. Yeah, you should definitely go. Dragons, wyverns, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah, definitely. Hey, let's get on to, now that we've got our audio issues, I think they're working out well. I'm going to bring the music down into the background just a little bit more here. Right about there. I think that's good. Yeah, technically they're wyverns. I guess the difference is separate arms separate from the wings, right? So according to Princess Nebula. So I'm taking your word for that, Nebs. So let's switch over to the screen and let's do some Baby Zombie Rush and let's throw some anvils around, shall we? Let's do that. Displacing 2. Right there. That's over here. There we go. Woo! Okay, no more audio stuff. Let's play Minecraft. Let's do that. That's what I want to do. Dragons have 4 legs, 2 arms and 2 legs. Wyverns only have 2 legs, wings and 2 legs. That's right. Okay, so you can see behind me, I'm launching anvils. And I put up a grid of the patterns there because I'm making a graph for trajectories and Math Guy. And plotting out where anvils launched and where they're going to land and stuff. So let's review our problem here. The task that has been set before us. And I've made quite a bit of progress with this, by the way. So what I want the contestant to do is run down one of these dead ends, open this up, run into this situation. Now, this will be a wall here, like this side. I have it opened up just so I can see where the anvils land. And they'll be running through here. The targets will not be here. It'll just be a soul sand floor, slowing down the player to an agonizing and deadly pace here. While anvils, again, there'll be a wall here. Anvils will come raining down on them. And I would like to launch the anvils this way with a superfluous medial vowel, and clear over this wall. I think I have it like this. Yeah, there we go. Clear this wall. Like that. That's what I want. That's what I want, you know what I'm saying? Obsidian. Like this. There we go. And maybe that one like that. That way that one's that'll slide on that. Let me see. And so I will be launching, this is just one launching system, but there'll be all these launching systems here will all be lined up here. And the anvils should come flying over the top this way, landing on the player. I might have some of the launchers on the side, and I might have some of the launchers from the back. But I think it would be really hilarious for the player to round the corner, being pursued by baby zombies, and then it's raining anvils. That's the idea. All the launching is crazy. What if you launch baby zombies? You know, in the last Baby Zombie Rush design stream, which was not last Wednesday but the Wednesday before, we had come up with that option, and we will be doing that right after the anvils. Baby zombies will come flying through the air, raining down on the player. Oh, that's funny. You bet your bottom it is. And Cyclopsalops, no hydrate, H2O, no hydrate. Here you go. Slancha. I still think that orange Gatorade in a beaker is very disturbing looking. Some sort of iodine or bromine solution. Let me see. Drink it up, y'all. I'm gonna have to sip that bit by bit, because that's about 3/4 of a liter right there. Yeah, and I'll be taking restroom breaks constantly. It's raining zombies. Oh my gosh, it's raining zombies. That's going to be funny. That is. So once we get the anvils flying, we're going to try zombies. We're going to try baby zombies. Yeah. It might be some variant. It might be baby husks or something like that. We'll see. But so we have all of these anvil targets all worked out. All of these are just fine. So the anvils come flying over the wall. I've got anvils hitting here. And I can change this pattern anytime I want. The thing is, I want an anvil to land here, just over the wall. And that's apparently very hard to do, because we need the forward trajectory to clear the wall, but we also need the height. So they fly in a roughly parabolic trajectory, but it's very horizontal. And it's not very vertical. So you can get a very long arc this way. parabola this way, but it's hard to make a short parabola like that where it's more vertical than that's very, very hard to do. Now, I've managed to do that with 3 anvil launchers. So I have a horizontal, it bounces onto a vertical, and then hits that. I can get it to do that, but this system is very long, and I'm concerned that it's just too long to trigger. These will be triggered when the player comes through the door. The contestant comes through the door and starts running. So I can't have too long a delay for the anvils to launch. The player might try to do some back and forth, but I don't think they are. I think most people's instinct is just to run forward and then weave like this. I don't think anybody's going to back up into oncoming baby zombies. So you might get a player try to juke like that, because you can juke baby zombies in this. You can do that. On Soul Sand, probably not. But the other thing is I might not have this a continuous path of Soul Sand either. I might just dot the Soul Sand in. I might do that too. It depends on... But what I'm trying to do now is trying to come up with the launch that achieves that hit, that target right there, but to see if I can shorten the path a little bit. And that's what I'm doing over here. Soul Sand is like quicksand. It's a death trap, and that's the idea. The idea is to increase the exasperation. So this particular dead end feature here, I still want the player to have a chance of getting out. I just want it to be as soul racking as possible. No pun intended. I just want it to be as exasperating as possible. So right now I've got a launch. Let's do this. Okay, let's just break that out of the way first, like this. Now pull that out of the way. And right now, with this horizontal and vertical one right here, I believe I can hit that target. So it'll land, boom, right on target. Bit of a problem, though, is when we have the wall in front. And so you can imagine the players running down the corridor here. Here's the Soul Sand and stuff. Here are the walls, right? And for test purposes, I'm making the walls out of glass here, just so we can see through the walls. But the player, of course, won't be able to see through the walls. They'll just have anvils coming down from the sky over the wall. And it's a bit of a problem, because it's hard to get the anvil to come over the wall in that kind of in a parabola that has more of a the vertex is higher than the width of it, the horizontal travel. And so the moment we do something like this, it of course hits the wall, right? So we've got this kind of thing here. Pow, and it hits the wall and doesn't make it over. So if we move this whole apparatus a little bit closer so it clears the wall, then it won't land on that target. It'll land further back. If I bring this higher, we get the same kind of a problem. I also don't want the player to be able to see the apparatus from there. I might be able to raise this up a little bit, though. I might be able to do that. I might be able to make like all of this one block higher. It might clear the wall, but what I'm thinking it's also going to do is this is going to land further back. Quicksand looks more like powdered snow in my opinion. Yeah, the snow does have that kind of function to it because you do sink in it, right? Yeah. All right, so one of the things we could try is to raise this up by one block, but again, I'm thinking that that's just going to result in this going further back because right now it's hitting right about there. If I raise it up, it'll hit here. If I raise it up even further, it'll clear the wall, but you might start to see some of the machinery, and the anvil is going to land like back here. All right. Same thing happens if I move the vertical. We'll call these hammers, right? If I move the vertical hammer a little bit back here, it's just going to move the target a few more blocks back. So what I came up with is, now if I can do something like this, right? What I had was this happening here. Let me see. I believe I had that there. Maybe it was more like this. And let me see. Fuck. I need the slime block, not that. Right? We do this, we do that like that. I think I actually had it up one more. I had it on the same level as that one, I believe, yeah. There we go. That's right, because when it extends, it hits the wall. Got that. All right. Let's just do this. Also, all of my command controls for the chat have changed because this is my new system. I think this, even though I have those permissions enabled on the in the test world in creative mode, I think my server sees me as a new player, even though it's the same Minecraft account. Or there's some option I can add in here that I haven't done in so long I just forget how to do it. So I'm kind of fiddling around with that a little bit on the new system here. So right now I'm actually playing on the new system, but I'm streaming with OBS and everything else on the old system. So let me see. Maybe add like a painting on signs to hide the oncoming anvils to avoid players using F5. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll tell the players they just can't use F5. You're right. Or we'll just make that one of the rules. But that would be a good solution if I were allowed them to use that. I don't mind them seeing the anvils coming over. I just don't want them to see the machinery. So, because I do want them to have a chance to be able to dodge the anvils if they can. All right. Let me see. So slime block. Because I have tried it out, and I tell you, it is hilarious to have baby zombies pursuing you from behind, and then you look ahead, and then anvils start flying over the wall. It's so funny looking. Comedy gold, people. Comedy gold. Let's do this. Let's do that. And let me see. I'm going to need that to be right about there, and here. And I think that needs to be one tick back. Like this. And I think I had the timing worked out like this. And, you know, once I get this thing working and targeting it, you know, then I can work on cleaning up the redstone and making this a heck of a lot less jankier. So you can see that might... Oh, a little too late. A little too late. So maybe this one needs to be right there. That might be how I had it. There it is. So you can see that it's close. It's close. It lands it right about here. That's a little too much. But if I put the glass in place, now we're going to have to, let me see, do slime blocks slide on glass? I don't know. The way I got around it over there is I just put obsidian there. It's a kind of janky solution, you know. I'd rather have the black stone, but then it'll slide on the black stone. Right. So we do this kind of thing. We do that kind of a thing. Boom. Then, oh! So you can see this block here stops that from moving forward. So one of the things we might be able to do Let's see what happens when we do that. And sometimes you can do something like this as well. This will move both of these at the same time, but sometimes it affects the trajectory a little bit. You'll see. I learned a lot about anvils, about launching anvils after the last Baby Zombie Rush design. Okay, same spot. One of the other things you can do is put a honey block there too, but this will drag the honey block. Sometimes not a problem. Sometimes is a problem. We'll see. Not quite. But this is just one of those trial and error things. Thankfully, it's a fun trial and error. Okay. Yeah, so that launched it forward even more. All right. So one of the other things that you can do is do something like this, where you can extend some slime blocks out, and then you can see where it lands, and that tells you where to put the next hammer, right? So if you want to reposition the hammer a little bit, yeah, that's why I put that hammer there. Okay, so now if I wanted to go up higher like this, one of the things I can do is I can start moving this block back now just far enough where I can't see it, right? Here's the problem with that. The wall is only 5 blocks high. And where does the player turn the corner? How far away? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 blocks. All right. So if we head back here, I should move this a little bit closer to my face. Right about there, I think. Okay, if we move back here, it should be 21 blocks, right? So on that target block there. So if I'm standing here, I don't want to be able to see the any of the mechanisms, right? So one of the other things that we can do is we can go back this far and just keep moving these back until we can't see it anymore from this angle like this. Okay, now how far forward can I go with this before it comes into view? I'm still good. Still doing well. Still doing well. I think it's going to start to come in right about there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I have to go one back from there. But I think it's going to miss. I think it's just going to shoot over that. Yeah, it will. It goes right over that. So that's part of the problem there with this. You know, it also can't be seen. I'll just get caught up in the chat here. I got to go to bed again. See y'all. Hey, I read earlier, I think you said that your grades are doing pretty good there. I got to remember which screen I'm on here, which mouse, which keyboard, all of that there. Yeah, because while I was messing with the audio, I missed some of your comments there. I've been away. I've been gone too long. Yes, you have. Okay. All right. Well, with the students, I always want to make sure that you guys are doing well in school. So, Mini Rebel, you have yourself a good night over there across the pond from us. Cyclopsolops is across the pond from us as well, although he's not quite as far over as Mini Rebel. But I always appreciate it when the Europeans show up, because I try to keep. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this stream at noontime. I'm trying to get you guys in there if I can. Offer a stream where it's a little bit better for you guys to attend. So trying to compromise between all the time zones, that can be a challenge. Across the extremely big pond, yes. So setting this timing up is a little bit weird. If I set up another hammer, like if you can see how far into the air that thing goes. Right, if I were to set up another intermediary hammer somewhere here, just to give it a little bit more boost. Again, I have to make sure I can't see it from that other target block, right? So one of the ways you can do that is just to keep stacking these up until you see where the anvil lands, right? Like if I do that, that's too close, right? So we move it back by one. And you can make these kind of adjustments this way, and it'll save you quite a bit of time. I think it's going to be right about there. And that's how you can aim these things. We have to go further up. All right, it's hitting the front of that, right? It's very hard to hit the anvil on the increasing part of the parabola. That's really hard to do. It's very hard to aim that like that. When you pass the vertex of the parabola and you're coming down on the other side, it's much easier to aim it. But then we get closer to the field of view over there, and we get other problems, right? So gotta load that on there like this. I do believe it's hitting that, though. Let me make one more observation. Because it's got to hit it just right. If the leading edge of the block hits it, it'll just break the anvil. So, okay, yeah, that's a little bit too much right there. So it's a lot of this kind of stuff. But see, that one misses it. So it's really hard to hit these on the leading edge. You can aim to hit them on, like I said, but if you're on the increasing side of the parabola, the leading edge of the block is going to hit it. And if that's the case, then it's just going to break the anvil. And it doesn't matter which block you use as well. You know, if you use a honey block, then it's still going to break the anvil if it hits on the leading edge of the honey block. So there's all kinds of things like that. Draken says timing is key. That's right. It certainly is. So the best way to do it is to get the vertex or get it on the very last part, right? On the decreasing side of the parabola, right? And to hit it here. But the problem with the decreasing side of the parabola is that you can see the machinery, which I don't like. I do not like. So I can get this kind of a thing going where we're doing this, right? You can see we worked out the timing to do that. But then because of the wall, it loses its forward momentum. So one of the other things we can do, so we could try to move it up and back one, but I think it's just going to break on that. So if we do something like this, right? Yeah, it hits on the backside. Again, you could do something like that. Because that's actually an option. I removed the... Let's try that, shall we? Now we're going to have to activate this first so it'll grab that. But there it goes. Okay, so this is kind of weird because this actually... what happens is this will hit the trailing edge of the block and break. That also happens. But sometimes if you put a block behind it, it's almost in between these two blocks. And that's how you can get away with this situation where this block isn't good enough, that block isn't good enough because it's landing in the middle, but you can activate two blocks, and sometimes that'll work. Sometimes that'll work. So that's another phenomenon I discovered last time while I was doing this. Wrong spot. Let's try that. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. So we can back... Let's try just backing all of this up a little bit. Take the trailing block off. I think it's just going to break it, though, but we'll see. But this is also good for other kinds of redstone machines and stuff like that. So learning the timing, how to adjust the timing with repeaters and stuff like that, super, super handy. Like using the note block to activate this just for testing, right, makes this quite a bit easier too. Before I remember I was clicking the button and all that. Yeah, it's just easier to use the note block to update the observer. Glitch in the Minecraft, you might say, yeah, instead of the Matrix, yeah. Yeah, see, you can see where it just hit the trailing edge of that, right? I also wanted this to be a little bit higher, didn't I? So that was mainly the point of this. That has to come out like that. And then I also have to be careful of how much I'm adding onto this when I do that. All right, again, this might be a little bit too high. We won't be able to see it, but I think it's going to break the anvil. But we'll try it out. Yeah, see, backside hits it. But we might do that because now it's one block higher. It might make a difference. Let's see. Pow. Up, bonk. All right. And so it just moves it back a little bit too much. So when you get this, what you can do is you can just move this whole apparatus backwards by about so many blocks. And so what we're doing is just moving the target up. But then you're also increasing the distance of this thing. It's further and further away from the source. One of the other things I could do too would be to, for this last one, for this last one, I could have this last one launched from behind over here to hit this. I could have that too, and that way we get all of this distance here to do that. You could do that. I do like the challenge of just having that parabola coming up and over, but that might have to wind up being the default. We might have to wind up doing something like that. Because this will just, the further and further this is away, the longer the circuit has to be, and it's just going to mess with the timing. So, one of the other things that we can do is we can also raise the target up too. So, one of the things that we can do here is, where are the target blocks? You can aim this. Let's launch another one. You guys will see what I'm on to here. If you probably already thought about this, but I'm a little bit slower than you guys mostly, but let's see. So if I look at this and where that lands, it could do something like that, where... So what I'm effectively doing here is raising the floor or sinking all of this circuit down below the wall, right? And so you can make adjustments that way too. That's why I have the grid pattern behind me, so I can count the blocks when I want to transfer this device over there. I know where to place it right off. So we can do something like that. This will go up here and. Okay, it's a little bit on the back side if I want it to go that far below. But remember, when we do that, though, we have to be able to raise the wall up as well. So the wall for this will actually be right here. 4, 5. And so this would be something, you have to move this whole thing up. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would have to clear this wall and hit that. Right? And so I think we know that that's already not going to work. But you can see what happens when you wind up lowering the apparatus. See, it clears the... Oh, that's really close. You can see where we're really, really close to that. This is landing on the back side of this. If we did something like that, and what this is telling me is the anvil is landing between this and this. Now, what this back block is going to do is it's going to actually drag the anvil a little bit forward. If you guys will, let's bring this down by 1 block too, just so it'll clear. And you can see what the effect of 2 blocks is. All right, so when this lands here, it'll do something like... it lands on the back one, but that's okay. I think it's still hitting this. So instead of moving the machine each time, right? Because we have all that redstone to move around, we just move the target, and then we measure where the machine is in relation to the target. It's just faster to do that for this kind of trial and error kind of thing. So let's do this. Let's do that. Hit the note block like this. This goes up through here. Oh! Okay, so that's landing here, but you can see it's not clearing the wall, right? So what does that mean? That means probably something like that. I think it's still hitting the wall, right? I don't think it is hitting the wall. I think what's happening is this is causing it to drag a little bit. Yeah, sometimes that happens. It looks like it's striking something, but it's not. Let's get over there. Let's see if I can get over there fast enough. Is it getting shot sideways a little bit? Is it like hit? It can't be. What? That's insanity. Nova, if you're lurking in the background, this is a dear Jeb. Okay. It's not. It's not. It looks like it's hitting something because look, if I take these out, right, it'll have the same kind of behavior. It's just that trailing slime block is having that kind of effect, which is actually a good thing, believe it or not. Watch. It'll look like it's going to hit some sort of barrier. See? Neck. Neck is bothering me. Let me see. All right, so let's do this then. 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. This is where the wall's going to wind up being. So this is ground level. All right. Yeah. So, whoa. What can we do there? We could try putting this back where it was. We won't need this because we've moved the target, right? So let's put this back where it was down here. Now, mind you, though, we're increasing the length when we do this. So we're not just dropping it down. So we've got to keep that in mind because the idea is to decrease the length and make this a short circuit, not a long one. That's a little bit too high, but I think we'll be okay. We might have to change the timing here a little bit too on some of this. That's pretty close. Hawk hand. That is really, really close. So this would be all down below the floor, right? And what do we have here? Cyclopsalops is just subscribed for 2 months. Thank you so very, very much. Psych, you are super, super cool. Psych, what was the last stream that you did? If you don't mind me asking. Because I've been on the road a lot lately, and I haven't been able to attend my friends' streams. Let me get caught up in chat here. Yo, Thunder, that's cool. It's like it gets to the wall and then hits the air, yes. The last stream you did, yes. Were you doing a Minecraft stream? Among Us with Pleasant and friends when I played just Act Natural and Curly and Pleasant, and then I played Pleasant in a game of chess. Chess. Did you beat Pleasant at chess? And then I ended. Okay. Chess is awesome. I love chess. Yeah, super, super cool. But you didn't end streaming like forever, right? That's not what you're saying. I can understand you being busy. You know, that happens to all of us. I took over a month off myself. All right, but the thing is that this wall is 4 blocks high and 5 blocks high, not FOA. So let's see what happens when we lower the floor a little bit. Yeah, so weird things happen in Minecraft. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is where we need to put everything. But you can see that this is a super long circuit, and that's what I don't like. You know, think about this. The door for this is going to be 21 blocks from here. So if I took right there. Okay. So the player is going to be here. The door is going to be activated right about here. And so that redstone signal is going to have to go all the way back here to activate this. And that's what I don't like. That is what I do not like, people. See, that's what I don't like. I mean, this works. This works fine. But it's not really the way I would like to do it. This is not really the way I would like to do it. I mean, worst comes to worst, I will use this, but I don't want to. Okay, you know, one of the other things that we can do now, see, I already, as if you saw when I flew over there, I already had this pretty much like this set up over there. But that is one long circuit. One of the things that we can do is we can map out the trajectory, find out where the vertex is off of this. Find out where the vertex is. And then we can start placing the hammer either at the vertex or just below it. And then we can move the target around to try to get this as close as possible. I think that's what we're going to have to do. This is cool, but this isn't really progress because I just did this up there the last time. So I don't really count this as progress. Let me get caught up in chat here. I'm so bad at it. No. I ended because I'm tired. Yes. I understand that. Switch modes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will switch modes. Well, I'm glad to hear that you haven't stopped streaming. Switching modes. And so we are at 101. So we're about halfway through the stream. There we go. All right. I've got a lot more stuff on my workbench now. My workbench is a nightmare now because I'm running 2 PCs. There is the Zoom L12, right? The other PC is under the table right here. So I have I have the mouse and then I have the keyboard. And oh my God. And then I have what I think is the other system over here. And so, yeah, workspace is kind of tight right now. But I do have the case for the other system. And so now I've got to load the case in there. I'll probably wind up doing that probably on Saturday. I'll load the case in there, and then I'm also going to make the shelf under my bench, but up off the floor, so I can put both PCs and a couple other devices and stuff on that shelf and get things off of the bench top here, so I can have a little bit of room. Let me see. Same here. Running two makes things complicated. Yeah, it does. Right now, I'm just trying to get used to switching back and forth from this keyboard and this mouse to that keyboard and that mouse, and that's a little weird. All right, screen's been a little static here for a little bit. So again, I don't really count this as progress because I already have this. I already have this up there. And so, again, let's find out, let's map out the trajectory of this thing. Let's map it out. So I'm going to need more grid on the back side of this. And now you're going to see the problem I've been having with the commands. Before, I used to be able to just hit T to open chat like that, and then / and then I could do fill like this. But now before it would already start to fill in the command and then give me suggestions. But now I have to hit tab. And see, it doesn't do what it used to do. So, yeah, this works very different than it used to work. I have to hit tab twice to get coordinates and stuff. This is really awkward from what it used to be. I'm just going to extend the old wall up here. I think, yeah, something like that. That looks like the highest point, or close enough. And then I can bring this back here. But now I have to hit tab twice for each coordinate. I didn't have to do that before. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So entering commands is a little bit strange now. I don't know why it would change, but change it did. And it's awkward. And that's just what I need more of, right, in the stream. Awkwardness. Okay, so now we have a nice grid. We can make ourselves a nice little graph here, and we can plot this out. So if I can pull back far enough here. All right. It looks like right about there. I'm just going to start there. A little bit lower. Oh, okay. I think that it's right there. Looks like it's a little bit lower, actually. Let me adjust my mic. Also, sometimes it launches differently too. So there's some error in the launch. It doesn't launch exactly the same way every single time. If there's a little bit of server lag or something, it affects the launch. So look at all the anvils piled up. That's cool. All right. By the way, this trial and error method, this is how we got to the moon, by the way. Our competitors were trying to get to the moon with doing the math. But it turns out that the math to get to the moon is really, really hard. It's so hard that it's impossible to do. So what we wound up doing was, instead of working on the math side of it, we worked on the computer simulation side of it. And we got the computer to simulate it accurately enough where we could just run millions of simulations for the launch and the target until we got down to the outcome that we wanted. and then we worked the math backwards from that. So this is how we did it. So there's something to be said for trial and error. Yeah, see, that one launched a little bit differently. But now we can do something like this. Let's use target blocks for right now. So it should clear that, right? Okay, so it's hitting the very back end of this, right? So I think that's it right there. It might be between these two blocks, though. It could be one of those things. Yeah. Okay. See, so I think it's actually a little bit before this, but this is good. All right. Now, if we go before this, though, it's not going to be able to hit this. It's going to break every time because it's always going to hit the leading edge of the block. That's the problem. It has to be from this point onward, right? Let me see. Same here. Running 2 makes things complicated. Yes, we got that. Who turned the heat off? Can somebody turn it back on, please? Is it a little chilly over there? We've had a very cool winter here by California standards. But I think it's pretty much warmed up from here on out now. No, actually, it's pretty cool here. It's 54. For Californians, that's freezing for them. They're horrified. Remember, I'm originally from the East Coast, and I never really acclimated, so 54 is beautiful. So, let me see. What you talking about, Shut? It's 74. Wow, it's actually warmer out where Nebs is right now. Our heaters have been off for a few days now. Yeah, so it's been pretty cool here in SoCal. By their standards, right? By their metric. Because we are right on the edge of the Mojave Desert, right? So... Okay, so if you're looking at where to place hammers, this would be the spot. All right. Now, the other thing that you can do now is start to get the landing points after this. Like, so on this plane, this Y level, that's where it's... Now, how about this Y level? Where is it going to land here? Right? And so you would think, okay, maybe one more block out, right? But usually not the case. So see, it went a little bit after that. So maybe here. And you just keep extending it out like that until you find out where it lands. And that's where you can put the hammer on that plane. Okay, now this hit the trailing edge of this. Right there. Okay. So this just barely hit, though. I could see it hit the leading edge of that, but only a little bit of it. And so it hit the leading edge a little bit and then slid forward. So on this plane, that's where it's going to hit there. All right. And so these are possible locations for the third hammer. That's what we're working on now. Now, how about this one down below it here? Right? Let me see. Let's make a prediction. I'm thinking maybe this was what? Over 3 blocks? Let's try that. So I'm trying to picture the parabola in my head and see if I can... Did it drift sideways? That's impossible. Stop it. Stop it. That's silly. Stop that. Okay. Wow, that was weird. Weirdness. So much weirdness. All right, so I overshot a little bit right there. I love this. Oh, wow. I way overshot. That's actually a good thing, believe it or not. Because I don't want a parabola that's has a long horizontal component to it. I actually want it to be pretty steep. Because that helps get it over the wall, right? We are experts at throwing. Wow, really? At hurling anvils, everyone. We are experts. By the end of the stream, you guys are going to know everything there is to know about hurling anvils. Okay, there it is. Wow, so it does turn out to be just one like that. Okay, so if we want to place a hammer on this at this Y level, it has to be here. Now, I'm sure there's a function that I can do. I can fit a curve to this and then model a function that'll give me an equation for that. I know there is. But don't worry, I won't do that on the stream. That would be an Algebra 2 lesson. It might be an Algebra 1 lesson. Yeah, if I had the right group of students, that might be an Algebra 1 lesson. Out here in California, we also teach conic sections in geometry too, so that might be a geometry honors lesson. So let me see. So we can let's find the marker for this one here. Right. So let me see if it's going to go there. It might be right here. Yeah, because I don't think it's like that. But sometimes there is no, it'll be between these two blocks. So sometimes there is no target point. It won't intersect on that plane. And you have to skip one. So, yeah, so it's hitting the back side of this. But I think if I do this, it's going to hit the front side. So you may have to use both so it'll hit in the middle. No, that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Weird. Yeah, so we have to remember, this is the target for the hammer, but it's the center of that block that or actually the bottom of that block that is the point that we're looking at. All right. It's still a pretty weird shape. And also, you got to remember that this isn't actually hitting here. It's hitting a little before and then sliding back a bit. So. But see, this helps you plot a trajectory. And then once we get this, we know where to put the third hammer. And then we'll put the third hammer in a place that'll give us a nice parabola that has a really tall vertex, but a really narrow horizontal component to it. And then we can move the target into place, and then we'll know where to put all three hammers. But this also has its problems, though. If this is too high, then we're also dropping a signal down and over, and it may not necessarily be a shorter path. So there's that to think of, too, because you save distance this way, but then if we have to increase distance that way, that's not really helping us. So what I would like is to get something going on the upside, but not possible. At least I don't think it's possible. All right, so next block. Where will the next block be? I'm thinking maybe there. Oh, wow. So it hit a little That's for that. That's a little too far. Does it have to be forward? Does it have to go back one? I think it has to actually go back. No, no, it's right there. Okay. Right, so you have a little bit of something here, like that so far. Oh, I just thought of something useful too. All right, let's finish. Let's get to the vertex here, and then we'll go down to the back side. And for that, let me see. Because this one here, I believe, is actually the midpoint right there. I think that's the vertex of that. And it looks like it's asymmetrical too. Yeah, that's weird. But you know, this isn't real life too either. So let me see. Cyclops the Lops redeemed the wee Kachi laugh. That's my favorite laugh. My favorite laugh. Favorite laugh of all time. Good. Okay, so I think we hit this one here. And then how about this plane? Where does this land in this plane? You know, I really doubt it's right here, but if I say that, it is going to be there. That's okay. I don't mind being wrong. All right, let's do this. Let's do a launch like that. Uh-oh. Is that saying what I think it is? What are you telling me, Jeb? Okay, so both of these have the same landing point. Again, this one could be landing a little bit before and then sliding over, and this one could be landing right in the center. Weird. There. We can also go below the starting point too. We can do that, and so this would be the starting. This would be the starting level, right here, all the way across. And so we could carry that below. And I should differentiate. I should mark that off. Pow. All right, so that's going to be there. And this may seem like it's a lot of work now, but it's a heck of a lot less work afterwards. So what do you guys think? Here? There it is. Right there. We may have to move this in a bit, but that's okay. Let me see. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. So I think we're going to wind up going over here. Now, see, the cool thing about this is also it can tell you where to place the wall, such that we might not even need the third hammer if we do it right. But I'm not seeing any place like, for example, if we're here, can I go up like this? Oh, yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, I just got an idea. All right, let's finish this out though first. I just got an idea. Wrong starting point. There we go. Yeah, no, you know what would help is if I put the target blocks in. All right, I'm going to move this. Oh, I should have marked that one off because that was one of the hammer points, right? How about this one? Pretty sure I'm going to be wrong there, but... Okay, forgive me that that small impromptu break there, but I needed to move my mic rack over a little bit because now that I have two systems, I'm kind of like this now, and my mic isn't reaching. So there we go. Okay, a little bit like that. All right, this feels better. Let's get caught up in chat here. We got you to laugh. Math. The power of math. If you find the apex of that arc, vertex, yeah, you should be able to get the landing point just by tracing back from the beginning. Yeah, you should. I think he said something about that earlier. Hard to remember, yes. I think it was one forward, but I could be wrong. Yo, I'm head to bed. I can get enough sleep for school tomorrow. Have an amazing stream and the rest of your day. See you, everyone. Good night. Psych, thank you so much for dropping by, man. You are so super cool. I do appreciate it. You have yourself a good night and get some rest. The problem, the reason why it's going to be different, you think it would be symmetrical like that. And you know what? That's going to be a good starting point shut. But there's two problems with that. When the anvil comes up through here like this, all right, on the rise up, it either slams into the face and drops down, or it hits the leading corner like that and breaks. And so it's not going to do something like this and land on a block. All right. So the other thing is I'm looking at this curve, and I don't think that the trajectory is symmetrical, because look at the launch point over here, right? But this is the max height there. And so the line of symmetry should be right here on a parabola. So I don't think this is a parabola, and it might not be symmetrical. So, or it could just be flat all the way across the top and then down like that. But you have two different kinds of parameters here on either side of this red block. And so, but projecting this over this way would be a good way to start. That'll get us close. But then we're going to have to start to niggle things back and forth a little bit. Jiggle the pixies a little bit. Let me see. Probably loss of forward momentum, and then you have to add in randomness, probability. Yeah, maybe. One of the big things you also have to consider is what you've seen a couple of times I mentioned is sometimes server lag too, a little bit. Server may lag a little heavier, a little bit lighter, and sometimes that affects the launch a little bit, or it affects the landing a little bit. It'll land a little bit further ahead. It'll land a little bit forward. You know, sometimes it does change it a little bit. In other words, it does not behave always the way that you think it would. So, all right. Yeah, like this one has to come forward, right? Now you'll see when we actually start putting in the slime blocks here, some of the slime blocks, some of the hammers are going to have to be 2 slime blocks wide, because because the behavior of it landing on a different block, like a target block, seems to be a little bit different sometimes than a slime block. And it has something to do with like this edge all the way around here. You know, it's weird. And the slime block has like a stickiness component to it too. So sometimes you have to deal with that. Yeah, see, now this, when it came down, landed very far towards the edge, the leading corner of this block, and did quite a bit of sliding to get back in there. So even these will need to be tweaked when we use the hammers. So. But if we get these mapped out properly, we won't even have to use that trailing edge, that leading edge, the forward edge of this arc, whatever that's going to be. We may not even have to use that. Okay, this might be another one of these where it's going to do that. So I don't know how dull of a stream this is for you guys, but just think about this. I'm doing all this stuff so you guys don't have to. Research! There we go. Yeah, so this is going to be one of these, where these two, for this x-axis, or this height here, they're going, for this y height, they're going to share the same x location there. So I should have left my target block, my very first target block, because I already knew where that was, but not a big deal. So that one's there. We almost got it. Wow, this one's too far forward. But notice how we're getting more and more vertical now. That's a good thing. So this might also be in that same x coordinate. That might have the same x coordinate on it. Yeah, it does. Okay, and of course x and y according to this grid, not the game, right? So, because that would be z. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. See, so unfortunately, stuff like this has to be done. You know, I like this kind of stuff. You know, this is very similar to my job, to both of my jobs. So this is my cup of tea right here. But I can understand not a lot of folks being into this. So if that's the case, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. All right, now this last one is going to be difficult. This last one should be right here. Should be. Yeah, and you see how much that slid? That actually, I believe, landed just past the center line of these two blocks. And then slid all the way over to there. Right. And so this last one, we can do something like that. Okay, so what I'm thinking now is, now that we have all of these landing sites, what I would like to do now is do something like... What I would like to do now is to do something like... We'll do this with glass. How's that? What I would like to do now with this thing... 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this. And I don't have to actually do all of those. Let's save ourselves some trouble here. Like this. Like this. So, and this should move out. We should actually do that one first. Now that I think of it. I think you guys are seeing what I'm doing now, right? Now I'm putting the wall up like this to see which one of these points the anvil will clear and land on the target, right? Clearly, it's not going to be this one, right? So... in fact, it'll hardly be any of these. It'll probably be some of these. I think these double ones here are the ones for which we can start. Okay, so we can go 1, 2, 3 like this. That should put me on the axis. Like this. And... I think we should start right here. Because these are locations for the third hammer, but for some of these down here, we might not need the third hammer. It may clear the wall and come on over and land. It's too close to that block. It's going to be out. The wall is actually one away from it. Like this. Now... I think you guys can predict right away on this one here. This is not going to work. So, but you know, so I doubt very much it's going to clear this wall and hit that. Very, very much doubt it. But this is what we can do next. Yeah, see? This may be the case where none of those are going to work. So, but I was thinking, you know, yeah, I could see that had a very, where did I take that from here? That had a very, still had a very horizontal component to it. It's probably going to be one of these three, if any of them. Or maybe none of them. Depends. So I'm going to just try this one next. Like this. I think we're good. Right. So we know that one doesn't work. Let me get caught up in chat here. Hence the addition of the random. Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. Well, the thing is, I'm not sure it's entirely random, but it may as well be. If it's not random, then it's complicated enough where it may as well be. Trajectories and vectors. Vectors, yeah. You know, I keep saying parabola for this because in real life that would be a very close to parabolic. It'll be a polynomial definitely, but in Minecraft maybe not. You know, I'm not sure what that's going to be in Minecraft. Again, one of the things I could do is lower the wall, but then the wall, the purpose of the wall is to block out the mechanisms and stuff, right? So lowering the wall is not an option. Yeah. So I don't think that, I think I'm going to need the third hammer, you guys. I'm not even going to bother testing the other one. Right? So these would be all locations for the third hammer. But I do want to do, let's get some black wool. Let me see. Maybe not. Let's stick with target blocks for a moment. So let's look at the forward edge of the curve. All right. So you can see where it's not symmetrical. All right. That, if it lands there, that should have hit this on the way up. Right? Now, this is the falling edge of that. So this should be the rising edge of this. So you could go over in the same X, but the Y would have to be flipped. Right? Well, not really flipped, but just moved up by one. Right? So, but you can see that this arc is not symmetrical. It almost is. You could see that that was just barely hitting there. Let me get over there a little bit quicker for you guys, and you can see what's happening. Yeah. That looks like it crossed, the bottom of the anvil crossed right about here, just missing this. Right? Well, the other thing is, right, we need to be intercepting that path. So let's move it back. One, two, we had it right here before, right? Yes. All right. So see, it clears that completely. And so what I would be tempted to do is, in this plane, I would keep moving this forward until it hit it. And that might be useful information on this side, although it's always going to hit the leading edge of the block, and it's going to break the anvil every time on any of these points. So, or if it doesn't hit the leading corner edge there, it's going to hit the leading face and just drop straight down. So, let me see. RIP. R.I.P. Right. So that's obvious, right? That should act like it does there, right? But now, do we also though, get that? And the answer should be no. Okay, so if I do this, it just hits this back corner. But this is a valid spot. Now, if I do this, it'll hit the leading corner. What? So that means it's still rising over this. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. All right, let's move it forward a little bit then. Okay, that tells me that this isn't the center then. If I'm reading this correctly. Um, Dear Jeff. Or that this has several locations because the highest point is in between two blocks. Maybe. All right, so it's hitting the back part of this. Weird. Okay, let's keep going forward. But if we're on this one, I think it's going to clear this every time. But we can walk it forward and we can see. Ooh, really close. Really, really close. So I'm just bringing this forward until it hits, right? And that way it'll help me trace out the curve, right? Okay, there we go. Look at all the anvils. And I want to see how that struck again. I want to look at it a little bit more carefully. Okay, so this just barely hit that leading edge going up. All right, so what information does that tell us? I'm wondering how I should mark that. Go down one. Yeah. That's what that's going to tell me. If I wasn't going to use the third hammer, this would tell me where it's going to hit the wall and where it's going to clear. All right, so what I could do here would be let me see. What I could do here would be like on this, that's where I could have the top of the wall, right? So if I had the top of the wall here, it would clear the top of the wall, right? Would that be useful information for us? Would that be useful information for us? So where would it clear the top of the wall on the next Y level? Like down here, right? Maybe? So on this, we can go quite a bit forward, I think, before it starts actually going under it instead of over it, right? So that's the idea. Right, like maybe here. All right, let's move it back one. Like that. Okay. So here's the highest the wall could be if I put the wall here. And so if this were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, then our anvil would land here, actually here, that far away from the wall. So that's what this leading edge information could tell you. So, or did I miss a step in brain thinking? Shouldn't it be the mirror image of the other side? No, it should not. Again, what's happening is this is the other side where it lands on top of the block. But on this side, what's happening is the path goes like this, so it can't land on top of the block. This side, it can only hit the face of the block, or it can hit the leading edge, but it can't go like that, right? That's what the trailing edge does. It falls this way going forward, right? So it's not exactly a mirror edge. It should, let's see if it's the block above the mirror edge, right? So there should be 1, 2, 3. There should be 1, 2, 3 up, right? And it's not. See, the next block here, the clearance block is there. So that's why I'm saying, you think it would be. You think it would be. So if it's a trajectory curve, it's probably intersecting these upper leading edge corners somewhere in the middle of this block, and then the central tops of these coming down. So it's skewed a little bit because it's behaving in two different ways, right? So what we would need to see is the center points, but we can't, right? Because these are blocks. So they're not points on a line. They're big old blocks. So the curve that fits this, it might be symmetrical, but it's going to go through these blocks and maybe not always at the center, right? So what you would do in real life is there's a application, and it's called Logger Pro, but they have different other applications that do the same thing. And what you'll do is you'll have somebody pitch a basketball at the net, and you have a camera, and the camera follows and plots the trajectory of the ball against the measurement, and then you can plot the points because you can get right on the center of the ball, and then you can see where the curve is, right? And then you can make an equation for that. It's going to be a polynomial of some kind, right? And it's roughly parabolic. You can make an equation for that, and then you can see the launch angle and stuff like that, and how to change that to, get the ball in the basket kind of thing. Cannonball, whatever it is that you're, rocket, whatever it is that you're launching, right? This, you can't do that as accurately because these are blocks. So yes and no, but like I said, on this side, it can't land on the top like it can over there, right? Because it's rising on this side, so it has to fall before it can land, and it'll never fall on this side, right? And so you could say, all right, well, on the opposite side then, the black block should be there. So from here, it should be over 4 and up 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And on this side, it is. But this does not behave on the next one down. Down 2 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1 like this, right? So this one should be 1, 2, this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be there on that one if it's going to be symmetrical, right? And it's not. It's over here. So like I said, it's not exactly, you think it should be. And I agree with you, it should be. But it's doing something like that on this side and then landing here. So it's doing something like this. And this is the landing point. So this is the block beneath the target block, technically, right? Because this is where the anvil is. So it's something like that. So actually the midpoint is probably somewhere right around here. Realistically. It's probably somewhere in between here. That's probably where it is, but so this is one of these things where, you have to fight what your brain, your intuition on this thing, because it's not intuitive. It's not intuitive at all. So that's why you have to do the behavior and you have to see what's actually going to happen. So see, it'll clear that on this Y level, but it won't clear this. So it's like on this side of the axis, you're marking the landing points. And on this side of the axis, since it can't land over here, you're marking the clearance points. So it's not going to be symmetrical, right? You're getting two different pieces of data. You're measuring two different things, right? Because the shape of this, since it's a square, on the rising side, like I said, it's either going to hit the flat face and drop, or it's going to hit the corner and break. It'll never land on the top part, going up, increasing like this. It can only land on the top part after it clears the max height. Then it can start going down so it can land on a surface. But anything before that line of symmetry, anything before that max height, the vertex, anything before that, it can't land on it. So the blocks on this side, that's why I'm choosing a different color. The blocks on this side are measuring a different thing. They're measuring clearance on this side. They're measuring landing points on the second side. Yeah, see? Not that one. Yay, so it'll clear here. Now if I drop down to the next Y level, all right, the one below this, where will it clear and where will it hit on this, right? Right here? Doubtful. I think it's going to be forward more, but so it clears that. So this you got to think of as this, the top of this wall. So I think that's the most useful piece of data to get from the rising side of the rising side of that curve, the launch side of it. On the falling, the decreasing side of the arc, the most useful information is to get the landing spots, right? So again, you're measuring two different things. So it looked like it cleared, but it looked like it's slightly hit too. Nope, just barely. So if I move this forward one, it should definitely hit. Whoa, it's still cleared that. Okay, right. So on this level here, that's as close to the launch mechanism as the wall can be and still have it clear. If it's even one block forward, it's going to hit. So you can think of it like that. Let me see. And so long, yeah. Well, that's why a lot of this isn't really. It's kind of hard. This is like, us sending the rocket to the moon thing. It's hard to get accurate measurements out of this. So the best thing to do in a case like this, especially when we're working with something small like that, and we're not doing hundreds of thousands of miles or meters or whatever, we're working with, you just do it trial by error, and then you plot out an arc. And then once we have this plotted out, we can see where to place the wall, where it's going to clear on the rising side, and where it's going to land on the falling side. And then we can either set our third hammers at these points, which make those kind of useless, right? Or use these for the targets and see where the wall is going to be in relation to the targets. Once we plot where the tops of the walls are, we're going to see right away that we don't want these to be landing points. We're going to want these to be third targets, and then we'll have to make another arc here to see where over the wall this will land. So these will all give us, this would be a 2-hammer system, and then if we place hammers here, then we'll get a 3-hammer system, and it's going to wind up being a 3-hammer system, I'm pretty sure. Because that's my findings over there. But I'm just confirming that and mapping it out in a place that's away from the actual build. Yeah, that cleared easily. So I'm just going to move it way up here. Might actually go under this, but I don't think so. Okay. Let's move it back until it clears now, right? There it is. All right, so for this Y level, that's as close as you can get there. You know what? One useful piece of information on this. See, Nebs, your speculation, your conversation, your dialogue here, it isn't useless. It's really important. Since it clears here, that would be where the wall would be. It doesn't clear here. That might be a place to put a hammer. So it could be rising up here, and another hammer hits it, and then it goes over there. So these might be hammer locations, right? For a third hammer on the rising side. I think a hammer on the rising side, though, is just going to break the anvil every time. Pretty sure it is. If the hammer is made of a honey block, though, instead of a slime block, it might not. It might not. Well, I have to get going. I've got a minute. 2 or 3. I'm past my time anyway. So, are you streaming today by any chance? Is that what you mean? I've got a minute? Because if that's the case, I'm going to extend my stream long enough so I can raid you. And so I can finish this arc and then I'll raid you. Is that the case? One of the things I could do is open up Twitch on the phone and see if you've got the stream starting soon screen up. That's one thing I could do. Yes, you do. Okay, well, we know who we're raiding out to. Okay, so Nebs is already in her own stream, very, very likely. I am going to, but she's on her stream starting soon, so she's still doing the setup thing and everything. I'm going to plot out the rest of these. That's a little bit over my time for my stream because it's already 2:05. I should have ended at 2 o'clock. But excuse me, I'm going to continue to plot this, though, because I'm just going to do the trailing side. It'll only take a few minutes. So let us do this. I'm thinking the next one's going to be maybe right there. It's probably going to be much more forward than that, but we'll see. Actually, it's going to be back from that. Because that's slammed right on the surface. Let's do this. Yeah. So now we're getting on to the... now it's starting to get steeper, right? Let's see what's happening here. Definitely clears that. Probably not going to clear this, but we'll see. Could be wrong. Yeah, I find it very weird that that is like that and then like this, because now see, there's no way that that's a parabola, because this comes down here and then does this weird dip like that. Nope. I think not. Right. So this clears right about here, I think. You know, I am really curious about this, though. So, Jeb, you're really telling me that strikes that surface there? Really? On that Y level? Yep, it sure does. So, it is like this. Okay. Then I think this is somewhere in between these two. that's what I think. But all right, let's get down to here. Let's find out where this block is. Oh, that cleared a lot, right? Let's bring this all the way back to here, I think. That actually went under. Wow. Okay, so we're getting really close. I'm thinking maybe right here. These are going to start to get more and more vertical the closer we get to the hammer here. So that makes a lot of sense, really. All right, that cleared, but the one before it didn't. And we're getting very close to the launch level. So these ones may not even work at all. I could be wrong. So that one was right there. Just cleaning up anvils. There we go. This should be the last one. And then we're actually below the level. And they'll all clear below the level, right? So how far forward? This, I actually can't. Well, I guess I could because I could put obsidian there on that one so it would slide. But, right. So, this is as close as we can get, I think. And of course, if we put one here, it'll definitely clear, but then we'd be hitting that block. Right, so this looks like what we have to work with what we have to work. However you want to say that. And I'm thinking that these green wool locations here might be a possible third hammer on the rising side. But again, you know, I'm thinking that it's just going to break the anvil on that side. But I know we didn't have baby zombies running around this time and stuff like that. Wait a minute. I wonder. There's a baby zombie. Let's let Daddy die. Oh no 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 no! Wait, don't die, please, please don't die. I wish I could give him a little helmet. Now the thing is, he should clear this, and he should go right through there. Let's try it out. I just killed him outright. All right. So when we go to launch baby zombies, we have a different launching mechanism here that's going to be required, right? Sorry, dude. So that's going to require something a little bit different there. Yeah. Okay. I had to try it for you guys. I had to try it before we signed off. But let's get over here. There we go. A little something like this. Okay. So I would like to raid out to the mighty Princess Nebula. Let me see. Design refinement is important, especially in this application, right? Those anvils have to come over the wall in just the right way for the maximum amount of terror or terror/humor. It's got to be just right. You need that cartoonish horror in there. So, yeah, this has to be just right. But I think we've got some good measurement and stuff with this. And now it would be plotting out third hammer locations and see where that works out. But you know what? I can do that before the next stream. And I can just do it right here, and then we can adjust things. We can get things where we want to. And this is all for one hammer launcher. All the other hammer launchers are easy. This particular one is hard to do. But through this one, we get every kind of hammer, launch hammer that you could possibly imagine in all of their positions and stuff. And so I think this is good work. I think it's good work to do. With that being said, okay, let us do, if you happen to be lurking in the chat, let's do our raid message. And if you would like to join us raiding Princess Nebula, here is the raid message in the chat. You can copy and paste that in the chat. And I highly recommend that you do. Nebula is a really good friend, a very entertaining streamer. She's streaming her build on Buffooncraft right now, and that is a must-see. That is definitely a must-see. If you don't have a lot of time to hang out, please just drop in and just check it out. Say hi. Come along with a raid. And if you feel so inclined, drop a follow and a sub. You know, that would be really appreciated. Just remember that we do this generation stream every Wednesday from noon to typically 2 o'clock. I went a little over this time. Noon to 2. And it alternates each week. So this stream was a Baby Zombie Rush design stream. Next Wednesday, 12 to 2, we'll be building on the Generation server in survival. And then, so I alter them like that. The next stream after this will be Friday. That will be from 3 to 5. That's a Buffooncraft stream for myself. Recently during the week, I died a very ridiculous death and lost all my stuff. So I'm re-equipping. This is going to, but our good friend Warrior Geek, fellow buffoon, is all out of Elytra in his shop. So I have to go to the end and go get some more. And so that'll very likely be Friday's stream. I might also go back to the site of my death for some revenge, which is best served cold. So we'll see. We'll see. But Friday is going to be a fun stream, so please check into that. And then Sunday, we're going to make another attempt at Kachi Time. We're going to see if we can work out the audio issues and stuff. We may not wind up doing a stream for Kachi Time. It depends. But we're going to try. We're going to make another attempt at it. We're going to see what we can handle here. So that being said, let us raid out to Princess Nebula. / Oh, wrong. Wrong keyboard, wrong mouse. This is way over here, away from Mike, so. And I believe I typed that correctly. Raid has been created. Thank you so much, everybody, for dropping by. Always a pleasure to throw anvils around for 2 hours. Raiding out, and we'll see you next time.